Hello, board members. My name is Miguel Escobar, and first I'd like to thank everybody who partakes in the district in giving your time for our children. I am a physician assistant, and I've worked in healthcare for over 15 years. I have been working in the Valley in cardiology at the hospitals for about 3 years. And right now I work in internal medicine, and I also work with the Border Patrol screening the immigrants that come in. So I've had firsthand experience with COVID, especially before anybody in the media knew about it, because I have certain government clearance. So I'm here to talk about a lot of the misinformation that's out there. First of all, most people don't know in the general population the actual facts of what's going on with COVID, okay? Number one, because they don't know where to look for it because it's very complicated even for a medical professional. Number two, you may not have the time, like most people here, to actually dig in deep and see the facts that are out there. Number three, and the most important, is that the government and many entities are actually censoring true factual information that I'm about to present to you. You can't find it. It's not out there. I understand that you might have some doctors on your board or doctors that come and help you out, but I can tell you one thing. If they're telling you something different than I'm about to tell you, they're either one, misinformed, and they're not looking in the right places. Two, they're straight up lying to you, and that would lead me to believe that who is paying you or who is influencing you to say these things. Number one, the case counts is absolutely obliterated. You could be run over by a car and you go into the ER, you say I'm short of breath because your blood is filling your lungs, and if they test you for COVID, you died of COVID, not a car accident. You could have known severe cardiovascular disease, which is what I partake in, and you come in with an absolute 100% heart attack, but they test you for COVID. What did you die of? COVID. What just happened about 2 weeks ago? CDC is now telling all the laboratories to stop using the PCRs that we've been using this whole time because they cannot decipher between the flu and COVID. So we have to stop using them. That information alone should stop this whole ridiculousness, okay? Number two, the masks. What is the dirtiest spot on your body? It is your mouth. I'm pretty sure no one here would sit there and smell their anus and their private parts all day because that seems disgusting. But your mouth is dirtier than your private parts. Why would you sniff the bacteria that comes out of your mouth all day long and force that on our children? That is wrong. That is psychologically affects them, and you're going to implore more infections on them. There are literally studies that I can prove to you that are on the CDC website that are randomized controlled studies that show that nor hand washing nor wearing surgical masks, especially anything less than that, actually prevents you from getting infected, whether if you're infected or you're trying to prevent an infection. I can sit here alone on that topic for at least 3 hours and talk to you about how that is so ridiculous. Let's get to the most important part because I'm very limited on time and I could sit here for hours and talk to you about this. The unvaccinated theory is nothing but BS, okay? Does anyone here know, especially the medical professionals here, that the CDC about a month and a half ago changed the requirement for hospitals and clinics to count a COVID case? If you are now vaccinated, you don't have to register that person as a COVID case if they have COVID. Even if they're in the hospital and dying of COVID, if they were vaccinated, you don't have to count that as a COVID case. Why are people saying, oh, the unvaccinated are filling the hospitals? Because the CDC has literally changed that. So if you get COVID and you're vaccinated, you don't count into the pool of people that are vaccinated. Does anybody here know that? I doubt it. Do we also know of the change in the PCR test? No, I doubt that. So you're a board for education, not health. There's never been a study on social distancing or any of these ridiculous partitioners that are in between you. So you're telling me that you're safe to breathe, but we're not safe to breathe? Even on the CDC, after 15 minutes of being in the same room with somebody, you're breathing in the same air, okay? So let's get past this ridiculousness because it doesn't work. And then the vaccines, just a whole other nutshell case in itself. In 6 months, more people have died from this vaccine than in 20 years of every single vaccine given in America. Let that sink in. In 6 months, 12,000. And the VAERS reporting system, Harvard